What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to episode number 28 of the Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. As you guys remember last time, we kind of improved in a way, but also kind of haven't. So if you look at our overall record, we're 26, 17, and 10. So it looks really good. Like, it really looks like, Winnipeg with 31, 17, but they only have 3 overtime losses. So our record, although it does look good, it's not really that great. But 62 points does speak for itself, and it does put us, I think it was like 13th, or not 13th, within the top like 10, I think, in the league right now. But there is one team it seems like that everyone's trying to catch, and that's the Buffalo Sabres. They sit at 81 points. And there's only, one team even remotely close to them, and that's Carolina. And they're both in the East. So we won't really have to deal with them until it gets to the playoffs. But obviously, we want to be that number 1 team in the West right now. So if you look at Winnipeg, they're at 65 points. We're only a couple points behind that. Look at the Pacific, 67 points. Again, we're still a few points back from that. So we're in a good spot. But I have, a trade that's going to make our team just that much better. And, after kind of reviewing our team, we kind of have everything we need. Just kind of, filling in a couple pieces here or there, looking for the playoffs. Kind of just adding a couple of pieces. Not a couple, just one piece that's going to help us later on. So we're going to head over to the Boston Bruins. Didn't really have to go far to find this one. But although they are going positive as far as their record goes, if you take a look at their goaltenders, now this is what I kind of did, was I went over to their goaltenders and I'm like, okay, well, they got 4 goalies that could all probably help us. Then I looked at the salary and I'm like, okay, well, then that kind of narrows it down to 2 because Rask still has a 6-year deal at $4.5 million. So I'm like, okay, that eliminates him. So then you kind of eliminate Dubnyk because, again, we're not going to really take on that contract. Lundqvist, he's in the AHL, hasn't really been doing anything crazy down there. But there is one goaltender that happens to be up here in Peter Mrazek that ends up being pretty damn good this year. Not pretty damn good, but pretty good. Right, the last couple of years he's done done pretty well actually all along, except for like 2 of these years. But other than that, he's been pretty solid since 2014. So I feel like if we can bring this guy in, help out with our goaltender situation, hopefully bring some wins under our belt, that would help us going forward. So in order to acquire a player like Peter Mrazek, we're going to have to give up a couple of things here. So usually I try to make like an equal trade. So I'd trade Hutchinson for Mrazek. But in this case, they kind of already have 2 other goaltenders that they can use as that NHL backup spot. So I didn't really feel like I needed to, make like an equal trade like that. But we're going to throw in Alavara down here. Now, you may be wondering, why would I get rid of a 72 overall 19-year-old goalie? But he hasn't really been doing well this year, right? Last year, 17-7. This year, not really that great. Plus, obviously, we have Gravel, McMillan are playing absolutely amazing. We have Jackson down here still waiting. Plus, we have Brizgalov down here that's kind of tearing it up in Russia. So, like, either he sits here and waits, or we trade him away and get something that could help us now. So, obviously, this trade won't go through because Alavara is unsigned. Mrazek is obviously under a contract. So, we got to throw in a player in this situation. And, it's been a long time coming, but finally, we're going to get rid of Brandon Gignac. Obviously, I want to keep him, but he's just not really growing any better to even, have that offer, put him in the NHL. And obviously, he's done well in the past in the NHL, but it's time to kind of move on from him going forward. So it's going to be Alavara and Gignac to the Boston Bruins in exchange for Peter Mrazek. Will it go through? Go down to proposed trade. There we go, and it doesn't. So I'm quite far off, or whatever it says. So let's go down to rookie skaters, see if there's anything down here that we can kind of get rid of. I really want those guys. Maybe like Turris, but no, he's top 9. I kind of want to keep him because he is doing pretty well this year. And, okay, so we're going to have a couple guys here at the bottom. Let me take a quick look at these guys. 6th-round pick power forward. He is doing quite well this year, but I don't really care about that. Stamkos down here. Obviously not Steven, but maybe a distant cousin. So let's throw both of them in there. How does that work out? trade accepted. So we traded away a couple of, unsigned prospects and, Brandon Gignac for a backup goalie that could help us. So without, going too crazy here, I think we're going to keep this, the team pretty much the same. Just going to put Mrazek in the lineup. And we brought up Zitkov. I think we went over that in the last episode. That's what we were going to do. But, yeah, he's up here for now. I haven't made any other trades or anything. Just kind of give Zitkov the reins here in the last part of the season. And if he doesn't do well, then we'll probably just throw Hjalmarsson back up here for the playoff run. And obviously we'll see about injuries and everything. But for now, Zitkov's going to get the call there at the third line left defensive spot. But although Hutchinson is doing well, like his record shows he's doing well, but he's not. So we're going to throw Mrazek in there. Now, if Mrazek doesn't perform, then obviously we can go right back to Hutchinson, and hopefully he continues that. But these numbers do speak for themselves. I mean, 920 save percentage, 240 goals against. So they're in a pretty darn good spot right now. So we're going to kind of continue with that. I wish we could upgrade, and get, some other goaltender that's, putting up like 40 wins a season. But we don't have that right now. So we did offer a couple of younger guys along with one NHL player, I believe. I don't remember who it was. I think was it McLeod or it was somebody. But we offered a couple people contract extension. So that will pop up here in a few minutes. Not in a few minutes, but in a minute or two. So just look out for that. A couple of young guys plus, I believe, an NHL player. So now that Mrazek's in the lineup, I don't have any other plans right now. But let's continue up to the trade deadline and see what else happens between now and then. We're going up to February 28th before the trade deadline. And then we'll turn on injuries and we'll get right into the playoff run. But like I said, Poulin was one of them. Severson, that's the other one. So we offered him a $2.5 million 2 years deal. He obviously did not want to do that. So we'll look at that later on once things kind of settle down a little bit. So Chicago's in a good spot right now. Rockford's still rocking down there. 33, 12, and 3 down there. They're absolutely crushing it. Their goaltenders are crushing it. There's no real superstars down there. But like I said, they are playing really well. And that's all we kind of really want. So where we are right now is kind of maintaining our team, maintaining, the wins, trying to stay above 500. Because, like I said, we're not in a terrible spot, but we're also, not in a terrible spot. But let's keep going here. 28, 19, and 12. We have a lot of overtime losses this year, and I don't know what it is. So we're good enough to take them to overtime, but sometimes we lose. Is that kind of what I'm dealing with here? I don't really know. But if we can kind of crank out the wins here, that 12, overtime losses won't be nearly as bad. Trade block, we don't really, I don't really have anything I'm really going for right now. So I guess we'll kind of continue that going forward here. But all right, so no trades came through. I say, hey, let's run an injury. All right, lines are fixed once again. Let's get back into it. So we still sit in a really good spot. We're within, I believe, 4 points of the top of the Western Conference. Eastern Conference, we have no chance to catch, basically, unless we win out and they suck, which isn't going to happen. But I think last time I saw, Buffalo was at like 95 points or something like that. So I don't think we're catching them. Even second place, I think it was Carolina, was at 88, I believe. So I don't think we're going to catch them. Just saying. Don't think we are. But what we got to do now is win the Western Conference, right? We don't care about the East because they don't really care to us. Like, they don't matter. They don't do anything. Another injury. So Richard Pavlik is out with a sore foot. Okay, I mean, just play. Can I just have you play? Of course, it's our top line guy. Like I said, we're within a couple of points, so I'm not really too worried about that. Plus, if you look at our record, we're kind of maintaining the wins right now. And going forward, I mean, we're in a good spot. So if we can just maintain our wins, maintain our playoff push here, we'll be in a great spot going forward. Now, we'll have to check on the playoff push here, what exactly position we are in, because our division is rather close. So, we could fall out by like 2 points. So we got to make sure we don't do that. Let's stop the simulation real quick and go check. So we said 36, 27, and 12. So We're still in a, an interesting spot, but this is what I mean right here. We're still in a very tough spot. We sit in the wild card right now, but we don't want to be in the wild card. We want to be ahead of that wild card just in case we run into a couple of rough games at the end of the season. So let's check it out. So wild card right now is 84 points. We have the last wild card spot going forward. So, okay, so we need to kind of maintain this. So the top of the West right now is 93 points. Behind that's 92. So we need to go on a little bit of a winning streak here, honestly. I mean, we're still in a decent spot, but like I said, we got to win now because we don't want to be fighting for that wild card spot going forward. So we have 7 games left. We're going to go ahead in between these games here, so that way it'll leave us with 3 games left. We can still hit 40 wins if we win 4 more. I guess now 3. But all right, we got a shootout win. We got a secondary win. Okay, 3 wins left. Or 3 games left, not 3 wins left. Well, hopefully. But we'll figure it out. We have to be so careful right now. As you can see, we sit at 88 points. 1 point behind us right now is St. Louis. They could easily come in and snatch that spot. And of course, we have to play them upcoming here. So we're going to stick right on the screen and just go advance day by day so we can kind of watch that standings board. So Nashville just clinched. Okay, so what about in the Pacific? Okay, so their top 2 clinched as well. Huge games right now. Huge games. Okay, we have a point. Okay, so we're still not locked in the playoffs. St. Louis didn't play yesterday. Oh, this is so intense. Like, it's literally... Okay, so basically, if we beat St. Louis, like we're in the playoffs, right? Okay, so Dallas clinched at 94 points. Edmonton clinched there. So the only chance we... Okay, so basically, whoever wins this game wins, right? Because they couldn't catch us. Because this would both be our 81st game. So yeah, we have to win this game to clinch it. But if we lose, we still have an opportunity, I think is how that goes. So huge game versus St. Louis. We win it. Perfect. So that clinched us 100%. So we're in the playoffs. Perfect. Let's get the last game done here versus Colorado. Now I'm pumped. We'll fix the lines later. But perfect. So we clinched with 93 points, even in the wild card spot. We got in. It was not easy. But let's see. What did Buffalo finish with? 120 points. 57, 19, and 6. Just wow. Okay. So let's recap here. This season. Let's go a day or two. Figure out who we're playing. So looks like we got not Washington, Winnipeg in the first round. But as per usual, let's go to the stats and everything. Check out how we did during the regular season. And it almost looks like Patrick Kane might retire this year. Like, he's already declined like 4 overall this year. So I would not be surprised if he retired. Him and Taves. I don't think Taves has declined nearly as much, but I think Kane might be on his way out. Either this year or next year. He'll probably be gone, I would assume. But let's check it out. Forward. So we got the dynamic trio, again, of wingers. All 70-plus points for them. Actually, I want to include Strome in there as the top 2-line centers there. 330 goal point getters, or goal scorers, I should say. Great to see there. Strome up there as well. Duchesne did not do nearly as bad as some people might have thought. DeBrincat would like a little bit more out of him, but I don't really know how to fit him on our team. It's like he's such a strange player that I don't know where to put him, which is weird. But I don't know. We'll hopefully figure that out upcoming here, because if Kane retires, then that kind of opens up a right wing spot in a sense. So we could always look at that at a later time. McLeod put up another pretty decent year. I mean, he's been pretty solid for us. I mean, once we brought him up, 56 points, 39, got back on his horse this year, 43 points. I mean, he's pretty solid for us. Probably going to re-sign him going this year. Jenner did pretty well. I mean, the plus minus on this line didn't really do that well. LeBlanc minus. Jonathan Taves, 25 points, -3. Second lowest on our team. I would not mind if he retired this year. Because they both have, I mean, him and Kane. Honestly, I hate to say it because they're kind of the faces of the franchise, but we're kind of in a rough spot. So even if they don't retire this year, I might throw them up on the trade block just to kind of see if I can get anything for them or kind of maximize their value. Because we need to move forward, and with them still here, it's kind of hard to do that. But all right, same thing as always. I mean, Boquist, Fowler leading the way. Perfectly fine with that. Lindgren actually gets 13 points at the end of the year. That's not too shabby. Yaro's played well again this year. Like, he doesn't show it, but his overall, but he's still a solid player. Like, 10 points, +6. Like, what else do you want from a third line right defenseman? Like, he was playing so well that I brought him up to the second line. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just hard not to put him there. Zitkov, 3 points, not terrible. +2. Probably gonna go with Hjalmarsson in the playoffs here. But that's another thing we'll figure out later. Mrazek did not play that great. I think he was like 10-3 or something. So not really the greatest time, with us, but it kind of helped a little bit. But obviously we have 6 goaltenders. So if one person struggles, we can always, switch them out. But let's take a quick look through Rockford, see how they finished up. Gravel, whatever his name is, did all right. Save percentage a little low, but goals against under 2.5. Decent. Not the best, but going down towards Macmillan. This is his rookie year, right? Yeah. So I may or may not sign Gravel again because he's earned it, but if I want to, try to get other people in here, I may not re-sign him. Because Macmillan will probably grow to a 75, 76 overall next year. And, we have that other goaltender that wants to make, a roster spot. So, may not re-sign him. Defense, everyone's doing pretty fine. Like I said, I'm probably going to call up Hjalmarsson for the playoffs to start. Our forwards, nobody really standing out. I mean, Sagen, he's on the third line. No one's really playing that great. I mean, 30 goal score out of Foot. That's a kind of a good sight to see. 21 years old, sniper. He'll probably want to be looking to make the jump next year. Yeah, no one else really standing out. I mean, where was the one guy I'm thinking of? I mean, Shen will probably come up maybe next year. Might throw him in a trade. Yeah, he's still got tons of time. So he might throw him in a trade to try to get something for our team. Not exactly sure what, but might be in a trade later on. This guy was doing really well. He kind of slacked off towards the end a little bit. But, yeah, obviously he's not going to be anything crazy. Thomas. What a disappointment you were this year. Came out, made training camp, played really well, and then just absolutely sucked. But all right, let's check the standings real quick and kind of see. Oh, didn't see that. Rockford, almost number one in the AHL. Okay, not really, but solid times down there. But let's go through the NHL stats and kind of see where we kind of fell short. So we sit 12th overall in the NHL at the end of the year, 93 points. Actually, if we want to go technical, tied for 11th. So not bad, but obviously we can always do better. But let's go right through it. Goals for here. We sit 4th overall behind a team that didn't even make the playoffs. How, I don't really know. I guess this is probably the reason. But our next stat, goals against. Yep, no surprise there. Buffalo in a solid spot. So we're number 12, I believe. So we're down here a bit. So not the greatest year. Power play, I believe we're going to be at the top here as well. 3rd overall. Great to see. Power play percentage. Number 2 overall, only 0.2 behind Tampa Bay. And they're not even in the playoffs, so we don't have to worry about them. We did allow some shorthanded goals. Kind of sucks, but not really a huge worry. Our penalty kill, not in a great spot. Shorthanded goals 4. I don't think. Yeah, we didn't have a lot at all. And then for our records, 22, 14, and 5 at home. So it's good, but not obviously great. And then 18, 15, and 8 away. Again, good, but not great. Last 10, 5, 4, and 1. But let's go look at the team we're going to be facing here in the first round of the playoffs. The Winnipeg Jets, 50 wins overall, so 50, 27, and 5. Some decent numbers going across the board, nothing too crazy. They had a pretty good power play, pretty good penalty kill, and the records are good, and they've done well in the last 10. So, as per usual, we're in for a treat going forward here, but obviously we got to do it. Let's go take a look at what the team is that we're going to be facing off in round number 1. That is the Winnipeg Jets. Hey guys, sorry for this weird little jump cut, but as I'm editing this video, I realized that some of the gameplay and audio kind of corrupted itself. So, as you can kind of see, you can see what we're doing in the video. We were reviewing, the team we're playing in the Winnipeg Jets. So, as you saw, the forward group, the defensive group's upcoming here in a second. Then we got the goaltenders. Plus, we see that they have a crucial injury in Patrick Laine. So, tough situation for them, obviously, but as I was saying in the video that you could kind of not understand at all, don't really know how this team actually made it this well, because there's no real, superstars on this team. Yeah, they have high overalls, but they don't have, high, stats numbers. So, I don't know what it was, but with the Winnipeg Jets, but like I said in the video, we're going to have a tough first-round matchup. But for this one, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. If you did enjoy, hit the like button down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.